Coming up on the Greg and Tim Show podcast.
That's the words.
I'm singing it
I'm
wrong.
not singing the right. I said, hey, can I take a really blurry picture with you? It turned out pretty blurry on my BlackBerry.
Tribute video was met with a resounding boo.
And some people didn't laugh.
And
what's that called?
the Chocolate Emporium.
Chocolate Emporium.
Yeah, it's so good.
Ever go to the States and try to buy coffee and the prices are exactly the same, except they're 25% more because our exchange sucks.
Tony Danza. For somebody to buy me anything that I want in the mall, I would have done it. And then Tim replied with, no, you would have done it for free.
Get your earballs ready and welcome back to the Greg and Tim Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Greg and Tim.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Greg and Tim Show. It is me, Greg, and you,
Timothy, with an extra
we are thrilled to have everybody back once again.
That's absolutely right, Greg, and we have an awesome episode lined up. I'm super pumped. Yeah. I can't wait to dive into it.
Just dive right into it.
But before we do, I know that people watch us. Lots of people watch us, listen to us. But there's a second step, there's a third step, and that's to subscribe, folks. You got to subscribe. You got to like. Bing. You got to subscribe. You got to share with your friends.
Yeah.
If you like what you're listening to, share with your friends. They're your friends.
You want them to enjoy it too, right?
They need to listen to it well, for sure. It really helps out. It does.
So if you're watching on YouTube, hit that little subscribe button, hit the like button, and share it away to all your friends. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you provide us with a review. Spotify, click the 5 stars because we like 5 stars. 5 stars.
That's right. So I heard that
what'd you hear?
A viewer said something to you.
That I interrupt you all the time.
That you interrupt me
all the time.
Not some of the time, but all of the time. I think that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it was a family member that, one of your family members that said that. So I do appreciate that.
Over the weekend.
Comforting sentiment.
I got together.
Because it hurts.
Family. We did Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I talked to a few people about it and about the show.
Yeah.
They asked me how we did such a great job on it and how it was so well produced. And I said, because Tim doesn't touch any post-production.
Yeah. I wouldn't know how.
And then I was kind of caught off guard when one of my family members said, do you think Greg interrupts Tim too much?
And everybody said, yes.
All at once.
All at once. But I've gotten used to it.
They do say that you talk too close or too far from the microphone too. So it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
How was the rest of your week?
It was good. I went to the Jets game. That was...
Moving on.
Not the greatest.
Tuesday night, yeah.
Dubois got that, what's that called? That video featurette.
The tribute video?
The tribute video. And the tribute video was met with a resounding boo.
And some people didn't laugh.
And I looked over to Adam, who was sitting next to me, and I said, Adam, I'm saying boo. What are you saying? He's like, doob.
Doob.
So Dubois is probably like, I think I heard everybody just saying doob.
Did you say boo or doob? I was saying doob.
So, Dubois wasn't met very well here in Winnipeg on his big return. Speaking of big returns, how was your week?
Fantastic. We finished... The podcast dropped on Friday morning.
Yeah.
Friday evening, my 18-year-old Taylor took me to the Eras Taylor Swift movie at Grant Park. So it was, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know what? She has a lot of great songs. My daughter just loves her. She actually went to the concert in Minneapolis. She was fortunate enough to get tickets.
Yeah.
She got tickets now to Toronto for the next, I think it's in November or something like that, the next November or something for that concert. So she's a massive fan. I went to that Friday night. It was an enjoyable time at $29 a pop, but what are you going to do, right?
Did you get a bucket and a cup?
I got a cup. They weren't selling the buckets there.
No. Did you keep the cup?
Yeah. my daughter's going to keep anything that says Taylor Swift on it.
They're selling the cups online for $80, and the buckets I think for like $120.
Are they actually selling for that amount, or are they just asking?
Well, that's what eBay has them for. So I'm sure.
Ding 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 ding. I'm going to ask Taylor where that cup is when I get home. People do crazy things for certain celebrities that like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
The rest of the weekend was that was Friday night. Saturday night, I had it was not quite so fun, but it was something we needed to do. We were helping my wife's family clean out some fiberglass ceiling insulation.
I remember you telling me this on Sunday.
7 hours of I had some eye gear. Maybe I didn't have enough because by the end of it, by the time 8 o'clock in the evening rolled around on Sunday, my eyes were just bloodshot.
You're supposed to put on like goggles that cover like that are sealed.
So the next day I went
not just glasses.
So the next day I went back and had the full face shield because by the end of it, everything was burning. My larynx was burning, throat, my eyes, my nose, everything was just in pain.
Most people would go to the doctor, but
no,
not you.
It's got to run out through the system.
Yeah.
So I was able to get. I was. It's got to be good for you. And so the funny thing is, I got up after I managed to get some sleep that night, and I was singing at church on Sunday morning, and I came to church and my eyes were just blaring red. It's like, are you okay? It's like, well. It looked like I had stayed up the entire night.
Pulled an all-nighter.
The
old Red Bull.
Partying with my friends in inappropriate ways, and I came straight to church. It's like, no, I was doing something much more, much better anyway. So, and then, so Sunday I sang and went back to help out, this time with the full shield, with the fiberglass, and it was only for a couple hours in. So that was my weekend. So pretty busy during the week this week. Was good too. Worked, obviously, which is how we make money to afford podcasts.
That's it.
And
hey, so question for you.
Yeah.
What do you have to drink today?
I have this fabulous beverage. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called water.
Agua.
Yeah, and this fabulous Mickey Mouse
mug. It
says Mickey Coffee on one side. Do you get this at Disneyland or Disney World or
Disney
something?
World. I got it at
you
Disney
got
World.
There, right?
Yeah.
What is your opinion of Disney in general, like the place?
I like Disney World.
Bit overpriced?
The actual theme park is, but I like going to what's that place called? Disney Springs.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, it's free.
It doesn't cost any money.
I don't know what you're drinking in the podcast land while you're listening here, but
hey, remember when
grab your drinks.
No, it was you told me about that ice cream place with the peanut butter things at Universal. That was at Universal, right? That wasn't Disney Springs. Do you remember that?
Right, yeah.
What's that called?
The Chocolate Emporium.
Chocolate Emporium.
Yeah, it's so good.
You should show a picture of that somewhere.
I'll just throw it up on the screen.
Yeah.
On our new high-tech screen.
It was so good. Okay. Anyway, but I just thought of that. So
cheers, buddy.
Whatever you're drinking out there, I want you to enjoy what's coming up next, which is some fabulous greatness. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Grab your phone. It's podcast time. It's the Greg and Tim Show. It's the Greg and Tim Show.
The Greg and Tim Show.
The Greg and Tim Show.
T-E-A-M spells T.
We should do a rock version of it.
Yeah.
Should I do the rock version? Like, should I sing it?
Yeah, probably because it's more believable.
Who would we get to play the guitar?
What do you mean?
Well, should I just like what theme? Like,
if you ever can get a hold of Paul, if you find some time,
you can get a Paul. Get a hold of Paul.
Yeah.
Hey,
great Paul. When can you run there next? No answer.
He doesn't run with you. So
he's the one who said, "Let's go for a run." Okay, Greg. Let's talk TAVIS, which is the nickname or one of the nicknames
that's not what they call them. Really?
Yes, it is one of the nicknames of Taylor Swift now. Because of course, if you're a celebrity couple,
you have to have
a nickname,
a joint name.
Yeah, so TAVIS,
like a bank account.
Yeah, TAVIS is the one that I've heard the most, which is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
I thought it was like Swiftsy.
Yeah,
Swiftly.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Swelsey.
TAVIS is my favorite. So a lot of NFL fans are upset that their Sunday afternoon sitting on the couch and watching football is being disrupted by the wives. Taylor Swift games, as the women like to call it. When is the Taylor Swift game coming on, honey?
It should be
one of the memes.
Game.
Yeah, but
take a sip of water every time Taylor Swift shows up.
Right. What's your opinion? Is it too much? Are you sick of it, or are you into it? And I'll give you my opinion after you answer.
I'm going to give you my honest opinion about it.
Well, not your fake opinion, just your
That's
honest
correct.
one.
This will be 100% honest.
Authentic Greg opinion.
Straight to the viewer and the listener. Don't care.
You don't care?
Don't care at all. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I don't watch the Kansas City Chiefs. My wife doesn't watch football.
Right.
And
you don't like Mahomes.
None of our family watches
Travis Kelce,
the NFL.
A lot of people are into the Kansas City Chiefs.
So I honestly, like, the opinion I give you is, like, maybe it's growing the NFL for some women that normally wouldn't watch it. But I've become a Jason Kelce fan.
Right. Of course, the older brother who looks like he used to beat up Travis Kelce when they were young. Take him, give him a headlock, and punch him in the face.
You were describing Travis Kelce to me the other day on the phone. What did you say about Travis Kelce? How did you describe him?
Every time I see Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift in public, I like Taylor Swift more, and I dislike Travis Kelce more.
Okay.
And the reason is, like, when I see Taylor Swift at a game, and she's jumping up and down, she's partying with Donna Kelce, who's Travis Kelce's mom. I think last Sunday it was the dad. I can't remember his first name. Ed Kelce, I think is his first name.
Ed.
And it comes off, and when they're in public, it just seems like she is a superstar.
So Donna and Ed together, they could be dead.
Yeah, they're divorced. So
okay,
take that as you will.
Maybe we'll go with
divorced, divorced, and
divorced.
It just Taylor Swift strikes me as the kind of person that says, I might be a superstar, but I don't care. I'm going to live my life as a normal human being, doing normal things, and if you catch me on tape, I don't care because why can't I go to a football game and cheer on my boyfriend if I can? What's the problem with that? And I respect that more. Now, every time I see Travis Kelce not in a football uniform and not giving me points on my football fantasy team, he's out in public and he wears these shirts and he has a smirk on his face. And I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Could be the nicest guy in the world. I don't know. I probably am wrong. But he strikes me as the kind of guy who would go with his buddies on spring break to Mexico to some kind of resort and just try to get girls all 7 days of the week. And that's his only goal. And that's how he strikes me. Again, I could be wrong completely.
But you have to remember, so he's got a girlfriend now.
Yeah.
Let's say they weren't dating like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
He's got to take time to change his wardrobe to an upstanding citizen.
Yeah.
Like, if he was the guy that went to spring break, that was probably how he had to dress.
Right.
And now he's like...
So he was that guy 2 months ago, and now he's not.
Well, now he's dating Taylor Swift.
Right. So he can totally change his whole
his wardrobe is going to stay similar until something changes.
Again, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Switching gears for 2 seconds. Now that I said Taylor Swift, to me anyways, just looks like a girl who's comfortable in her own skin.
Yeah.
And some people aren't. When they're famous, you know, they're not comfortable being out in public and everybody wanting a piece of them.
Yeah.
Do you remember, I think it was on a Saturday night, on Hockey Night in Canada, Carrie Underwood, remember when now she's married to Mike Fisher, but do you remember when she was dating Mike Fisher and Mike Fisher played for the Ottawa Senators?
And they showed her in the
and the Leafs and the Sens were playing, and they all of a sudden the camera, because that's what the cameras do, they go to people who are famous and they try to get them on camera because that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Carrie Underwood was in a suite. And they panned to her and she dropped like somebody, a sniper shot her from 100 feet and she dropped. And it was the funniest thing ever, but just parallel differences
check it out.
So parallel differences you can see. One is, and so
one is one way, one is the other. So up there you got Taylor Swift dancing with Donna Kelce.
Yeah.
And now,
which is a perfectly normal thing to do.
Yeah. Like it seems normal.
Yeah.
And then you get Carrie Underwood diving down. Yeah. I think that's kind of funny though.
It's really
Carrie
funny.
Underwood.
Why? Why would you do that?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
She was
So second question, a follow-up question to that. Celebrities in general at sporting events.
You don't like them?
I think it's great. Again, they're normal people. They should be able to do normal things.
Yeah.
Right? This idea that just because you're famous, people should invade your privacy, I think is bunk. You're a human being. You should be treated like a human being, right? Yeah. And there's certainly some qualifications to that, but they are human beings. Yeah. What is the biggest celebrity you've seen at a sporting event? And I'll tell you a story after that.
Celebrity I've seen at a sporting event. Yeah. I probably wouldn't even be able to tell you the biggest celebrity I've seen at a sporting event.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't think I've seen any.
Right.
Like at sporting events.
Right. Because from time to time
they're usually in like the suites and that type of thing. So not me, I guess.
When I went to New York
I saw Tim from the Greg and Tim show one time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a mega superstar. But, yeah. When I was in New York, I went to a Ranger game and they were playing Pittsburgh. It was the first time I've ever been to New York. So we had to go to Madison Square Gardens. Yeah. And the Rangers were playing Pittsburgh, Crosby and all that stuff, Malkin. Yeah. I saw the guy who played Garrett on Blue Bloods, and he was going into the bathroom. You know the show Blue Bloods, right?
I know the show Blue Bloods.
So Garrett, who plays kind of like Tom Selleck's PR guy. Okay. And I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I saw this guy, and he's like in the 300 level.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, he went into the bathroom, and I waited outside the bathroom. And then when he came out, I said, "Hey, can I take a really blurry picture with you?" It turned out pretty blurry on my BlackBerry. Do you have that? and if you can you clear that up a little bit?
Well, I'll see what I can do in post.
Anyway, so that's the story.
The new Google Pixel has a unblur feature on it. Right. So like when you take pictures that are blurry, you can actually, even old pictures, you can put it on the new Google Pixel and it'll actually unblur those photos for you.
Right.
So if you have an extra, I think it's about $1,400 lying around, you can unblur some of your old photos.
Billy, can you get me the name of the actor that plays Garrett on Blue Bloods? Anyway. So,
and Billy, is everything recording? Because I know that you're paying attention really well over there. Just making sure.
Anyway, so that's a bit of that conversation.
We wanted this is the fourth time we've done the show today because every time we've done it, Billy's screwed something up. So, welcome back, Billy. Thanks for joining us today.
Gregory Jabara. Okay, that's the actor.
That's the actor that you met.
Who is this guy that's asking me for a picture as I'm wiping my hands after the bathroom?
We didn't even address the simple fact that we're not even in our old studio anymore.
We aren't?
We're showing people pictures and videos on the new high-tech screen.
Don't tell people. Is that a different studio?
Avoid this.
Yeah, which is sad if nobody says anything. I thought it was kind of dark.
I thought it looked a little dark. Oh, man. Now that we have Billy back, though, at least we have somebody to look after our stuff so that we don't have to worry about like the lighting, making sure everything's recording, and also the lighting. Okay.
All right, Greg, what's next?
So I have something next for you.
Okay.
And I gave you a heads up to come up with your own little songs as well.
Right. Wasn't paying attention.
So I'm going to play a song for you. Perfect.
I'm just kidding. I'm always paying attention. Everything you say, I take into consideration very seriously.
I know you do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play a song for you.
By the way, nice hat. I like your hat.
Thank you.
Giants have such a good logo, eh?
I like the logo. I like the Giants.
Right.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. I'm going to San Fran in February.
What?
A couple of days, yeah.
You did not tell me that.
Yeah, that's where I'm taking the cruise from.
Oh, that's where the cruise is going from.
I like San Francisco. I know people say it's going down. New York and San Fran's going downhill since COVID.
Yeah.
I went to New York. It seemed kind of the same. I don't know why people say that. Maybe crime is up. I don't know.
So I'm going to play a song for you here, Tim. Thanks for filling in some time there.
I like to filibuster, buster. I like to filibuster, buster. Do you like that song?
No, I don't know what that song is.
I wrote it right now.
Okay.
Billy, still not paying attention.
So this song, When I Come Around by Green Day.
Yeah.
Listen to this part of the song and tell me you don't hear Oh, well, I guess I should introduce the whole segment.
We talked about Green Day last week.
We talked about Green Day last time. We're going to introduce the whole segment here. The segment is about the wrong song lyrics that people have heard over the years. And we're going to start out with a Green Day song called When I Come Around.
Yeah.
And this part, tell me you don't hear selling donuts at my door.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
I heard it all before. So donuts at my door.
I like it, yeah. So there's some donuts at my door.
Selling donuts at my door. It's so don't knock down my door.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't eat donuts at my door either.
So,
I'd eat a muffin.
So I want to ruin a couple other songs for people. Is that okay with you?
Right.
I don't know how to get back into the music thing though. So there we go. The next song here is very good. So listen to this part and tell me you don't hear Satin Car.
That's
Ready?
the lyric we're listening to.
What you are sex bomb, yeah. You're a sex bomb. You can give it to me when I need to come along.
Satin car, you're a satin car.
Oh, Tom Jones.
So I didn't think it was Satin Car. Somebody I was friends with way back when would sing this song, and he would sing Satin Car, and then another buddy of ours would be laughing at him all the time because he wouldn't correct him, and it probably went on for months that he thought it was Satin Car. That one was good. I'm gonna ruin one more song here that everybody's probably heard before. So let me see if I can pull it up with some lyrics so I can find it. I cannot. Tony Danza.
Yeah. Some people go Tony Danza, eh?
Some people just love Tony Danza to hold them closer.
He was very good in Who's the Boss.
Was he?
Yeah. I watched that show.
I really liked.
I can't use that at the end of the episode now, but
why not? We can easily use it.
No, I'll use something else. I got something else.
I'm gonna play the
Who's the Boss? And at the end, they got together. The character.
Don't ruin it for everybody. Maybe they haven't watched it.
If you haven't watched Who's the Boss, come on.
Mona and Tony get together.
Mona was the mom, actually.
That's right.
I can't.
Who was the actual boss?
I can't remember her name.
Mona.
Character name.
Mona was the boss.
Was she the boss? Okay.
Tony wasn't the boss. Angela wasn't the boss. Mona was the boss.
Angela. That's right. That's the co-star.
The female character.
It was Angela. Thank you.
Any other songs that you?
What's that CCR song? Don't go around tonight. Do you have that? Can you cue that up? What's the song title of that?
I know what the song title is. Yeah.
I thought of that one. It's right in the chorus. Great song, by the way. CCR, underrated group.
CCR is an underrated group.
I wonder how many kids don't know what CCR is. Go out tonight. It's time to say goodnight.
Here's the light.
There's a bathroom on the right. That one. That's classic.
We are out of time.
We are out of time.
We are out of time for the show. We're gonna see
you next time as we take a phone call from Raina on the Greg and Tim Show.
Oh, are we doing that?
No.
Oh.
All right. So, and my last example,
last
I think a lot of people know this one. It's from Taylor Swift. Take it away, Tavis. Starbucks lovers, which is not at all the lyric. What's the lyric?
The lyric is got a long list of ex-lovers.
Right. So Starbucks
got a long
lovers.
list of Starbucks lovers.
Yeah.
Is that what you thought?
Clearly not. And I'll tell you one other thing.
Yeah.
So I don't have a specific example for you, but sometimes when I often sing at church, and I'll be listening to a song. And I won't have the lyrics in front of me.
Yeah.
I'll be painting away. As you know, I paint houses. I'll be painting away, and I don't have I'm not an office chair or desk. I can't have the lyrics in front of me, right?
Yeah.
I'm just listening to it, and I have to. Sometimes I'll get to Sunday morning, and I'll have the words will come on the big screen, and I'll be like, oh. That's the words.
I'm singing it
I'm
wrong.
not singing the right
And that's why
words.
Debbie turns your mic off.
Yeah, well, yeah, or yeah. I don't think we're allowed to say names if we don't have permission. But
Last names.
yeah,
I can say first names all I want.
we'll call her Ruth. Well,
That's why-
that's actually a name of somebody else too. Never mind.
That's
So-
why they turn your mic off.
they don't turn my mic off.
Daniel turns your sound down.
Everyone loves me at church.
Okay,
Very popular.
we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Let's move on to everyone's favorite segment. I say this every week.
Yeah.
I say that it's everyone's favorite segment.
If we ever got feedback from people we know,
We would know.
so we're just going to self-proclaim everyone's
But wait.
least favorite segment. You can say whatever you want, right?
I'm going to start asking people what their favorite segment is.
Yes.
Because
And the throngs of people that get back to you will be immense.
I don't know if this would be their favorite.
That hurts.
Hit the music.
Time for the segment. Something you don't know about Tim. Do go on. Tell us more.
What you don't know about Tim. Tell me more, Tim.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
here we go.
you remember? Okay, let me go on this little bit of a tangent
Why does it
about-
always have to be a
about
tangent?
coffee. And I said rant
Okay.
before. I didn't say tangent.
Okay.
Different, I've used a different word.
Two different series.
Yeah, that's
two
called a
different
synonym,
words.
Greg. Look into it.
Sounds the
Anyway.
same, but spelled no. Means the
That's
same,
an
but spelled
antonym,
different.
I think.
Means
Synonym
the
are two words that mean the same thing.
Antonym is two words that mean the opposite.
Right.
What is the one where it sounds the same but means different?
That's not synonym. Synonym are two
I know.
words that mean the same.
Synonym means the same.
Can you
sounds
say
different.
synonym enough that it sounds it turns into cinnamon?
Synonym.
Do it fast.
Aluminium.
Do it 5 times. and
Synonym,
fast.
synonym, 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 synonym.
Anyway, I digress.
Etc., etc., etc.
So coffee.
Tim realized.
I'm
he
gonna
says
go.
et cetera a
I'm gonna
lot.
go on a coffee, a little bit of a coffee story.
Yeah, okay.
I'll start with the actual
Let's hear
story.
it.
So,
I'm listening.
remember when the McDonald's? By the way, I love McDonald's coffee.
Yeah.
I can't stand Starbucks coffee.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to offend lots of people. I think Starbucks coffee, it's specifically
Yeah.
coffee, is I don't like it. I think
Yeah.
it's horrible. It's overpriced, etc. And when you go to the States, ever go to the States and try to buy coffee, and the
don't.
prices are exactly the same, except they're 25% more because our exchange sucks.
35% more.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. You're literally buying a cup of coffee for $10. The joke used to be $5 instead of Starbucks. Forget that. You go to a Starbucks in the US, $10.
Well, yeah,
Right?
'cause it's $6.50 plus
Yeah.
your 35%.
It's crazy. Anyway, so I don't like Starbucks. I have McDonald's, and when you go to the States, McDonald's coffee still sucks. The formula in Canada has changed. It used to be
They got a different
yeah.
bean. They got a different.
yeah, it used to be
brewer here.
15
Yeah.
years ago. McDonald's coffee was terrible, and now it's really, really good. Lots of people do drink it, and
The
it's my favorite.
The rumor is that McDonald's actually got Tim Hortons old coffee.
Yeah.
And Tim Hortons got like a crappy coffee now. 'cause
I've
apparently
heard that-
Tim Hortons coffee got bad.
I actually don't mind Tim Hortons coffee, especially if it's the dark roast.
Yeah.
It's probably my second favorite. Still better than Starbucks. I'll anything other than Starbucks. But
So
anyways,
what is something we don't know about?
so I would drink coffee all the time at McDonald's,
Yeah.
and I would collect these cards. You remember how you
With
used
the
to
coffee cards, the stickers?
every cup of coffee had a sticker on it,
Yeah.
and you collect 7 stickers on a card, and you get a free coffee.
Yeah.
And they also used to do free refills at McDonald's. Anyway, so I had so many coffees, sticker cards filled out. I had 130 cards.
Okay.
130 cards. If you do the math, 130.
So 130 free coffees.
Yeah. So anyway, and then the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
And they stopped doing free refills for the pandemic because, of course, that would kill people. And so I
I might have
stopped.
to bleep that whole thing out.
I stopped redeeming the coffee cards
Yeah.
because they weren't doing free refills. So I felt that I would get half as much coffee as I would usually get,
Yeah.
and I would wait till they brought back free refills after the pandemic was over, which they haven't done.
They haven't.
They had it for a little bit. They did, then decided against it.
Yeah.
So I had to quickly use my 130 cards of coffee, and I was down to 20.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Manitoba stopped accepting the cards,
Yeah.
and we went
'cause
away.
McDonald's went digital.
Yeah, and we went away to Florida, so I was like, okay. I told my kids, if you want to use them, go ahead. They were at home. They weren't with us at the time, and they might have left 20 of them. So I still had 20 cards, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, they're useless, right? So I forgot about it, and then we went to Ottawa a year and a half ago, and I didn't bring the cards because I thought nobody was accepting the cards, and apparently only Manitoba didn't accept the cards, so I could have had free coffee for everybody for the week, and I forgot them. So now you know.
Dropped the ball.
I dropped the ball. And then since then, I don't know where they went. And apparently some provinces still accept the coffee cards. I've heard this since then. So
does anybody know where they still accept them? That's a good question.
I heard, I can't remember what it was. I think Alberta does or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, so if anyone knows where my coffee cards are, that'd be great. Anyway, so I had 130 at one time. That's quite a bit. And I hate Starbucks. So these are the two things I think people should take away from that segment.
So things that they don't know about you. You hate Starbucks. And you collected 130 cards that you didn't use all of.
Right. Hate's a strong word. Can I use that?
No, let's say you don't like Starbucks so much that you hate them.
Is despise a better word?
Yeah, you despise Starbucks so much that you hate it.
Yeah. Okay, that's much better.
Okay, perfect.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We're going to stick to that one? Okay, that's awesome.
How do we segue from that? We're gonna go, it looks like we're talking about something more serious here. Yeah. Any way to segue? Any way at all?
Let's segue to the next topic by talking about a different topic.
Yeah, that would be the definition of a segue. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, should we get music for topic of the day?
Oh yeah, I that's what I've been thinking last week. Actually, that I thought there wasn't a separation between the segments enough.
Yeah.
And kind of a jingle, a song, some kind of thing that would say that we're stopped this and we're moving on to something else.
Okay, so right now, on the spot here, Tim, I'm gonna write it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna sing it.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
Oh, that's not it. Oh wait, we haven't started yet. I'm just copying what you're doing in musical form. He's up at the first tee.
Okay.
He's eyeing his ball.
Just wait. If you keep talking, I'm not going to be able to write it for you. I just need you to sing it. Be a nice little minion and just sing
Be
what
a
I
nice
tell you.
little minion and sing it for me.
The song goes like this. Okay. Hooray. It's time for the topic of the day.
Okay, hooray, it's time for the topic of the day.
And then the more you know, star goes across. It goes bing.
Okay, hooray, it's time for the topic of the day. .com.
There's no .com. There is no .com at the end of that. Hey, so topic of the day today, Tim. It's been a silly show. Let's be honest.
I can be honest.
You've been a little silly.
I've been a bit silly.
Yeah, and you hate things.
I've been truthful.
So
I've been telling what's on my heart.
I've been taking notes.
Yeah.
A, you do not like Travis Kelce.
Why? Because he's not putting up points for my football fantasy team.
You thought Carrie Underwood, you didn't like her because she jumped underneath the...
I never said I didn't like her. I said the differences were dramatic and different.
You don't like Starbucks.
No, I don't like Starbucks.
And family time wasn't great for you this week because of your...
no, the family time was good. The activity, you have to separate the activity from being with family.
So you've been very negative this
week. My wife has a wonderful family.
It's been a very negative week for you. So I want to turn it around.
Are you spinning? I said a lot of the stuff was really good.
I want to turn it around.
My wife's family is fantastic, by the way.
I know.
Yeah. And sometimes
I've met your wife's family.
Sometimes you have to do dirty jobs.
Should we shout out one of your wife's family that's coming on the trip?
My brother-in-law.
Yeah, the saint.
Tammy's brother, Bernard.
Saint Bernard.
He's a fantastic guy.
Yeah, he's coming on the trip.
He is.
Does he listen to the podcast?
Absolutely.
Hey, Bernard.
You
say hi, Bernard.
Hi, Bernard. He's a paramedic firefighter.
Oh.
Yeah.
He does both?
He saves lives. Yeah.
We all save lives.
When was the last time you saved a life?
I get the sticker when I give blood.
Okay. Yeah. Well, your definition is wider, I suppose. He literally saves lives every day.
So I wanted to bring up a topic that we talked about a couple episodes ago, and if you haven't watched that episode, it's right above Tim's head there. You can click on it and check it out about rejection therapy.
Which we talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I just said that. If you're paying attention to me, you will hear me talk.
I'm just reiterating it.
Yeah. But I want to kind of piggyback on it because we heard a message this weekend on Sunday that I thought was a really good message about courage. And also rejection therapy has a lot to do with courage with Drew Dudley's book as well. Have you read Drew Dudley's book yet?
I haven't read the book. I've been on YouTube. I've seen a bunch of his clips and what he talks about.
Yeah.
But I've not read the book yet. I will admit that.
Yeah, no problem. It's there's a lot of clips. I think it's great. But in the book, there's the end of chapter 9, I believe it is. He talks about 5 ways to embody courage on day 1, and what this is a way to and he says like every day is day 1, right? So these are 5 ways to embody courage at all times. Actively attempt to be rejected 3 times. That's the rejection therapy part of it. Sit down and consider what list you are using as your checklist for success in your life, and ask yourself if you wrote it yourself. So basically, if the checklist for success in your life, did you write it or is somebody else writing that checklist for you? Do something that requires 5 seconds of extraordinary courage, and that's going to tie into what Zach said on Sunday. Ask yourself where in my life I am settling. So tell a friend and ask them to hold you accountable to that. And then speak out in support of someone with an unpopular opinion that you think is right. So a lot of the times I speak out on your behalf because a lot of your opinions are unpopular. But I'm like, you know what? Tim has a good opinion.
You're my PR guy.
I will publicly relate you to everybody else. So I embody a lot of those things on a regular basis hanging out with you. But the one that really got me was do something that requires 5 seconds of extraordinary courage. So Zach, in his message, he talked about offering his wife to purchase anything at the mall for her. Well, let's just play the clip.
And shows us what to do. But we have to be obedient in that, right? We have to see that and feel it and go, okay, I guess I got to do that. That means when you're walking down the mall, sometimes you might have this feeling inside of you that goes, there's a guy sitting over there by himself. I feel like I should go sit with him. Let me tell you, go sit with him if you feel that. If you have this gut feeling that goes, I should go out and reach out and just talk. You're not going to be weird, okay? You can just continually step into what God has for you and go, I can do this. I can just lead with, hey. I can lead with, how are you doing? I just saw you sitting here alone, and I just figured I just want to see how you're doing. They might go, no, man, like, give me some space. And then you can walk away. Can you handle rejection? Yes. I hope so. Can you respond to rejection and respect that and walk away? That's another thing that happens too. I always laugh because me and Jess my wife were walking through the mall the other day, and I joked with her and I just said, because we were shopping, and I was like, oh, I just love to her to go on a shopping spree and buy whatever. And I made a joke to her, and I was just like, hey, I will let you buy whatever you want, okay? Anything in this mall, if you go up to someone, I said, and pretend like they're a long-lost friend that you haven't seen in 20 years. And I knew this full well that I wouldn't be spending money that day because I knew that was like a big step out of comfort zone for all of us, right? And she's like, oh, I can't do that right now. But I know, that's fair. It was just so funny because we're laughing, walking through the mall, going, geez, can you imagine going up to a complete stranger, pretending like they're a long-lost friend from 20 years ago, and them just standing there, probably not reciprocating anything, and just standing there with just like their bug eyes going, what is going on in this mall today?
So right after this message, Tim texts me, and he goes, you would have done that. And I said, for somebody to buy me anything that I want in the mall, I would have done it. And then Tim replied with, no, you would have done it for free. And it's true. It's 100% true. I honestly would have introduced myself to somebody, pretended I was their long lost friend, and I would have had fun with it.
And I think you're absolutely right with that. Just backtracking as far as Pastor Zach, who was actually just named the senior pastor of our church.
He's our new senior pastor.
A week before the taping of the show, which is a Wednesday. So it's quite exciting for that. And we were both there on Sunday when he spoke the message, and he talked about 15 seconds of courage. And there's a clip from a movie called We Bought a Zoo, where they talk about 20 seconds of courage. And basically the idea... So
we've gone from 5 seconds to 15 seconds to 20 seconds.
Zach actually said courage. 15. I just listened to it today. Okay. Anyway, so 20 seconds. Just the idea is your life can be changed when you overcome a certain amount of fear and do something that you're uncomfortable with doing, either, quitting a job, asking that girl out on a date, that your life can be changed with just a little bit of courage. Yeah. That's from a movie called We Bought a Zoo with Scarlett Johansson and Matt Damon.
It's like you embarrass yourself if you say something, and you embarrass yourself if you don't.
Sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it.
But talking about the example of you doing something like going up to a complete stranger and pretending that you were their long lost friend is just something that is out of our comfort zones. Like, well, I don't know them, right? Yeah. They might think I'm strange. These things that we don't want to have people see us in certain ways, right? Yeah.
You don't want to be odd.
And what I said was you would do it. And without any monetary amounts going your way. But I asked you, would you have done this? The question I had, would you have done this 5 years ago? Yeah. And I think the answer is no, you wouldn't have.
Yeah, it would have been tougher 5 years ago.
So my question is, what changed from 5 years ago when you wouldn't have been comfortable and you probably would have walked away till now when you would?
Well, and it kind of goes to why we do these segments. Right. So we do these topics of the day on a regular basis to kind of like point out these things that could better people's lives, essentially, right? So like bringing up the rejection therapy, bringing up the 5 seconds of courage, bringing up fasting, all these types of things can change your life, right? I'm not saying it's going to change it dramatically, but if you do these things at an early age, like let's say when you're 20, and you set a precedent for yourself, and you set what's it called, like a recurring, what do they call that, like muscle memory, essentially, right? So you're fasting when you're young,
you're creating patterns of behavior.
You're creating your pattern of behavior. What behavior you create when you're younger, right, is easier to maintain than creating it when you're older, right? So, and they say, what do they say? You have to do something like a certain amount of times in order for it to become a behavior, and then you have to do it a certain amount of times in order to become something that's a permanent behavior, right? Right. So the reason why I bring these topics up with us is to A, teach the listener something new, and to B, be something that, like, to show an example of something that I've learned that has changed something that I do, right? So yeah, like walk up to that person that you thought you could never walk up to, right?
But what was the event that made you decide to change your patterns of behavior?
I always read books and I always want to learn something new. There was never an event, I don't believe. Is there? Did I tell you there was an event?
I thought there was.
But for me, seeing speakers speak and listening to certain books has helped me to learn to live life differently. Right. And to try them out, right? I try out a lot of different things. We're going to go through a ton of different topics that have changed the way I do things. But for you, what like, is there an event that changed the way you do things?
Over the last, I want to say 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm 47 years old.
Yeah.
And
you say that every episode.
I still the same.
The demographic.
In February, I'll be 48, but until then, I'm going to say I'm 47 years old. And just the last couple of years, just a couple, people have passed away that were important to me.
Okay.
And I'm getting a realization that life is too short.
Yeah.
Life is too short not to take advantage of those opportunities to give somebody a hug.
Yeah.
I was, I was very uncomfortable giving hugs before. And I'm purposely just trying to go the extra mile and just give people a hug. Just something small like that. Like,
yeah. The problem is when you hug too low.
Yeah.
So it's kind of awkward.
No, it's not.
You got to get one around the shoulder, one around the waist.
Yeah.
But do the opposite of the other person. When you hug, you kind of hug too low.
No, I don't hug too low. But saying a kind word to somebody, giving encouragement, doing something you're uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Just doing the things that really like we would be in some place that I don't live, let's say, and I'd be worried about what some people are going to think. Well, I'm not going to see them in a day. What is the concern here?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And of course, that can be in the negative too, right? When you do something that's out of your comfort zone in a negative way, it's called impulsive. And so I'm talking about positive things where I'm trying to be purposeful in how I'm behaving because I only have one life to live.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to
you don't want to have any
purposely make those
regrets.
Changes. Yeah. So
sorry, I cut you off there.
yeah, it's okay. You're always interrupting. So our pastor that passed away is one of the people that really impacted me. And my father-in-law who just passed away this past year as well, also the same thing. So I'm really taking those things into consideration and I'm trying to purposely change how I behave.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a bad guy, but everyone has something they can improve.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to be a little bit better every day, 1%. And sometimes I fail, but that's kind of where I'm coming from as far as these kinds of things.
I think some of the things you fail at is when you hate. Right. I think hate is a powerful drug.
I don't feel bad about Starbucks haters. All those Starbucks haters. They drive me insane.
Hate is the path to the dark side.
That's why I asked if it was inappropriate. You clarified.
Yeah, it's the path to the dark
side.
So
that's my answer, and I thought it was a fantastic message as well.
Do you know who says that?
Who's that?
Yoda.
I'm not a Star Wars guy. I'm a Trekkie. I'm not a Star Wars guy.
Oh, you're wrong then.
No, I love Captain Kirk, William Shatner. Oh,
still wrong.
And the first one's better than the Next Generation. Come on, I'm sorry.
Like I understand the Star Trek thing, but you can't say Star Trek's better than Star Wars.
Yeah, it is because that's fact. If you were right, I would agree with you.
So I got a question based on all that stuff.
Yeah.
What are you going to do this week that's going to be 15 seconds of courage?
What am I going to do this particular week?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know yet.
Okay. So next week, when we come back in the opening, you're going to tell us
what I'm going to do
that required courage.
So next week, I'm going to tell you what I did. I will look for opportunities that require courage.
Yep.
And I will, hopefully, you'll forget about the segment. No, I'm going to try. What about are you going to do the same?
I'm going to do the same. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So like a few of the questions are, what did I try today that I didn't think would work, but I did it anyway?
Right.
What did I do today that scared me? And I've given you all these notes too. What did I do today that I wanted to avoid?
Yep.
What did I do today that I'm proud of myself for trying?
Yep.
So like they all go together. Like you could have been scared of something that you're proud of trying that you avoided. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So these are all like questions that you can ask yourself when you're facing a situation that you're avoiding.
Yep.
Do it and see what happens. What's the worst thing that can happen?
So
I'm not saying like jump off a 15-story building. And
that would be an example of a negative, impulsive.
That's a different.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest.
Yeah. By the way, I was listening to a message very similar to Zach's on FOMO.
Okay.
And he went through different things that FOMO could stand for. And the first was fear of missing out, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago. But the other one was fear of meeting opposition.
Oh, okay.
And he had like 6 or 7 of what FOMO could stand for. Fear of meeting opposition. And he says that's why people don't do the things that they they want to do because
Yeah.
their fear of somebody thinking worse of them, acting negatively towards them, and that's why they're fearful. It's other people that we're worried about. So I just thought of that when you said that. So
interesting.
Yeah. But basically, the question is, what would you do if you thought you couldn't fail? What would you try?
So I want the viewers to put into the comments and on Instagram and everywhere else. I want the viewers to put in the comments of what you did this week that required courage, and if it turned out great, turned out negative, or if it actually made a difference in your life.
And as what you said, I remember you said a couple of weeks ago that even when it doesn't turn out the way you think it is, it's still positive, right?
Yeah, it actually could turn out better than what you thought you would get out of it.
Right, and you create for yourself a pattern that you'll continue to do the things, even if it doesn't work out. Because, like, honestly, it doesn't always work out the way you want, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Tim, that brings us to the least favorite part of your show. The end.
I thought you said it was the least favorite was the segment where they learned something about me.
No. I said that was everybody's favorite part.
Oh, okay. I thought you corrected yourself and said it was the worst.
No, I said that I don't even know if it's the favorite part.
Okay.
But this is your least favorite part. It's the end.
The conclusion.
Where we have to say goodbye to each other. But before we do, we usually take some questions from Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube.
Did you ask those questions?
I forgot.
You forgot.
I forgot.
Yeah.
So instead of the questions, I'm going to leave us with our best review on YouTube from last week. You want me to read it to you?
Please do.
Okay. This is a review from Adam M. I laughed pretty hard at this episode. Enjoyable. Best episode so far.
Thanks, Adam M.
That's after watching episode 6.
Yep.
Which was our last episode. If you haven't watched it, it's above Tim's head.
Yeah.
Click on that guy.
It was the episode before 7.
Which is this one.
Right. So after 5 and before 7.
Before 7.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember the theme song for Who's the Boss?
No.
Then let's play it.
There's a time for love and a time for living. Take a chance and face the wind. Open road and a road that's hidden. A brand new life.
I was doing a fake mic and I had a real mic here.
And you could have just not.
Yeah, could have just not done any of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Bye, Adam.
M.
And Bernard.
Who else did we mention? Taylor.
Swift.
Travis.
Travis.
TAVIS.
Bye, TAVIS. Carrie Underwood.
Mike
Fisher.
Green Day.
All these names. Green Day.
CCR.
CCR.
What does CCR stand for? Creedence Clearwater Revival.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's right. I knew that.
Creedence? Creedence, yes. But
Clearwater.
Creed in The Office is my favorite character.
Thanks for watching the Greg and Tim Show podcast. See you again next week. Remember to share, like, and subscribe.